Hi, welcome to Hey Parents, Let's Chat. I am Jess Hunt, and this is one of 6 videos where I'm really looking at the first 5 years of life and how critically important they are as we develop little human beings with a really good solid foundation, which is really set within those first 5 years. And so there is an introductory video, which you're welcome to watch. But this video is specifically focusing on the year from 1 to 2 years of age. So there was a video for babies. Now we're looking at age 1, and then we'll look at 2, 3, 4, and 5. So once your babies hit like 1 year of age, they're starting to become less babyish. They're now becoming little human beings. They are still going to have like babying qualities, and you're still going to want to baby them in some ways. When they're upset, you're going to want to cuddle them and make them feel better, and that's all good stuff. But they are becoming less baby and more toddler. As they're walking around, they're moving, they're crawling, they're, walking independently. And again, this can happen anywhere between babies can start walking, even at like 10 months of age, or they might not start walking until 18 months of age. Don't stress as a parent just because the milestone is set that somewhere around 1 they're going to start walking, or 18 months they're going to start walking. Every baby is different. Every baby is developing at a certain pace, their own pace. And you want to be encouraging them to be trying new things. And if they're showing signs of wanting to walk, we want to support them and encourage them. But if they're happy crawling and moving around, they're learning how to move and function their body in certain ways, and they might not be ready to walk. And then once they master the skill of either, scooting or crawling, then maybe they'll actually start leaning on the couch. They're going to develop those skills at their own pace, but be supportive of them. We don't want to force them to walk before they're ready, because they might be focusing on other life skills that are important for their brain at that moment. So don't stress, but we do want to meet our kids where they're at emotionally, physically, and mentally. So like if they're showing signs that they want to learn to walk, then support them and help them. But we don't want to be stressing out or pushing them until they're ready. It's the same thing like with potty training. If your 18-month-old is showing signs of interest in potty training, jump on it. And then start helping them to learn how to do that. So I always think it's important to kind of look at what their cues are and see kind of where they're at and what they're ready for. They'll tell you what they're ready for. As long as we as parents are providing them with opportunities to explore different life skills, to explore different things socially even, then we're going to be providing them with opportunities, and they might be ready or not, and that's fine. If they're not ready, we're going to try it again another month or so. But we have to be providing them with opportunities just to kind of see what they're ready for, and they'll show you whether they're ready or not. And if they're not, that is okay. And so for 1-year-olds, I always found it to be super important that we are being super positive. At 1, they're not really ready for discipline. Timeouts, you can start at around 18 months of age, definitely by 2. But when they are just turning 1, they're not really ready for that yet. And so if they're getting into things they're not supposed to, then you want to redirect them. You want to distract them. They are at an age where they are easy to redirect, so easy to distract. You can distract them by singing a song, showing them a different toy, bringing them to a different room. And they are definitely going to start developing those super big emotions. And that's just because they're young and they're learning how to function They might be overwhelmed or, understimulated. And if they are throwing a fit, then they might just need comforting. They might need redirecting. They just might need a song. And so you're going to have to just try different ways. Every kid's going to be a little bit different. Every, fussy moment might be a little bit different. I definitely feel like they really, really need to have interaction with other kids their same age. So, once a week play dates, get together with a friend and their kids, meet at the playground, meet other children. Kids learn so much through social interaction. And they're going to go through different phases of play where they might not be interacting. They might be going through parallel play where they're right next to someone. And that's all part of their learning. But if we're providing them the opportunity, then they're going to interact and socialize at their level of readiness. But it's super important that we're exposing them to other kids their age so that they can be learning, hey, this kid just did that, I'm going to try it. And they're learning about themselves. They're also learning about others. And so that 1 to 2 age, they are becoming so much more independent. They're going to have opinions on their own. And whether you like it or not, I always like to tell parents that those characteristics that you find super frustrating in your child are actually the characteristics you want them to have as adults. And being opinionated is one of them. And so you want to, I always felt like, sort of validate and encourage their opinions. When they are between 1 and 2, they can be learning, again, to be more independent. Again, they're being mobile, but they can also be learning how to be independent at this point, feeding themselves, with sippy cups, moving on to regular cups. Most kids between 1 and 2 are using sippy cups, but they're learning how to take care of themselves, brushing their teeth, getting dressed. This is something that the kids will do at their own level of readiness. Perhaps you want to start with just having them put their pants on. Socks might be a little bit more difficult. They might need help with putting a shirt on. Try it. Offer them the opportunity. If they can do it, great. And if not, then have them try it next month. Or when they start to show that they are interested in that level of independence. Be super careful that you're not doing too much for them, because if you are doing too much for them, then they're never going to learn to do it on their own. And you want them trying new things. And this is where kids become more confident and more capable by trying new things and learning, hey, I can actually do this. And so it is super important between 1 and 2 that you are giving them lots of positive redirects, that you're giving them lots of positive messages and positive attention for some of that negative. If I have to pause, somebody just pulled into my driveway and I have no idea who it is. I'll be right back. So I apologize for that interruption, but I just had to take 10 or 15 minutes to go talk with someone about a tree that we had to have cut down. Anyway, so I was talking a little bit about positive messages for ages from 1 to 2. You really want to be clear, consistent, and simple. They don't understand like long explanations and long conversations of processing. So you really want to be clear, concise, and very simple with directions. And you don't really want to spend a whole lot of time on discipline, as opposed to you want to set boundaries and have limits, but with just clear, consistent messages. For instance, let's say you know that they want to have a snack before dinner time, but you don't want them to have a full belly before dinner time. So you might offer them a choice and say, listen, would you like to have some carrot sticks or some apple slices? And That way they're having a healthy snack before dinner, they're meeting their needs, but they're within the boundaries that you have set for them. Um, and you don't want to go into like a long conversation about why it's not great to have a snack before dinner, but you might simply say, we don't want our bellies full, but you can have some apple or a carrot, and then that's it. So just some important things to be thinking about. They can start to have timeouts between like 18 months and two. And it's important that they start to learn, what's right and wrong, good behavior, bad behavior. A quick, simple timeout, or whatever you might have for a strategy set up in your home, for consequences to behavior, you can start implementing that somewhere between 18 months and 2 years of age. Nothing major, just something that is very simple with a message that that behavior was not okay. I know that there were certain things that I made sure that I nipped right in the bud. Biting was definitely one. Like when my son went to go bite his sister, I immediately put him right in timeout, and I said, we do not bite in this house, and ignored him for like 1 to 2 minutes in his timeout. I think I put him like at the bottom, I don't know, in a chair or something. I forget what it even was. But then I immediately went and poured all of my attention onto his sister and made sure that he knew that you are not going to get my attention because you had the bad behavior, and all my attention's now going to be going towards the person who you hit or bit or whatever. And again, that's something that you want to do closer to 2 because they're probably not going to understand it much younger than that. But making sure that they're understanding at this point that there are going to be boundaries, there are going to be limits, and just be clear and consistent and very simple and concise. And then closer to 2, then you can be handling things a little bit differently as they get a little bit more mature and start to understand more. That age between 2 and 3 is crucial for that sort of development in terms of like what's right and wrong, expected, unexpected, and those sorts of things. Between 1 and 2, they are still learning how to be mobile and communicate. They're learning language more. They're going to be trying their words more with you, but they don't have a lot of the words or labels for some of the emotions they might be feeling. And so this age is a great age to be labeling some of these emotions that they're feeling. So anytime you have the opportunity to say to them, oh, you look so happy, or oh, you look so sad, and that way they're learning labels for that behavior that they're feeling. And that's going to help them to sort of develop that language so that when they do become a little bit older, they can then start communicating that with you. I feel sad. And then perhaps they can even tell you why once they get to be older. But if you start labeling now, it's going to help them in the later years for their communication skills. And so I hope that you have found this helpful. And if you have, go ahead and hit subscribe, like, share, follow, all of those things. More importantly, if you have comments that could help other parents, add them into the comment section. You can go to heyparentsletschat.com, add your comments there, or add them anywhere you see this video, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. And I hope that you've enjoyed. Thank you for joining us.